Hey folks, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Trucking and Politics. If you're new here, welcome. Come on in. If you're a reoccurring member, reoccurring visitor, welcome back. I appreciate you back. I'm glad you're here. Today, I would like to talk to you about censorship. Censorship is kind of a specific subject, but it has broad consequences. It is one of our fundamental rights as U.S. citizens to have freedom of speech. I looked it up just before I came on, and a couple of the things I read was freedom of speech is a principle that supports the freedom of individual or a community to articulate opinions and ideas without fear of retaliation, censorship, or legal sanctions. The First Amendment guarantees our right to free expression and free association, which means the government does not have the right to forbid us from saying what we like, writing what we like. We can form clubs and organizations and take part in demonstrations and rallies. The one thing I see that they left out of that was peacefully. We're not allowed to go out and burn down Wendy's. We're not allowed to violently protest, to have destructive tendencies. We can also have grievances against our government. The thing that a lot of people forget about is when it is written, we the people of the United States. It doesn't say we the government of the United States. The government is supposed to be made up of we the people. Fundamentally, one of the things that I wanted to start this channel about was to help, to be part of shutting down lobbyists. That is one of my main focuses. That is one of the things that irritates me more about trucking than even all of the rules and regulations which restrict us in trucking. Trucking is one of the most ruled and regulated industries in the United States. You can go out and start up a restaurant. As an owner to that restaurant, if you want to drive 30 miles to work a 20-hour shift, and drive 30 miles back home, I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you wanted to do that, you have every bit of right to do that. That is one of your rights for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As a truck driver, we're not allowed. We have rules and regulations over us being on e-logs. We don't really have privacy anymore in trucking. We are censored. We are overruled, overregulated, and our voice is not heard. One of the big things out here that keep us oppressed is lobbyists, because they don't want to hear individual voices. They don't want to hear small businesses, owner operators, and independents. Folks, this is where trucking started. It was its roots. And the lobbyist wants to shut it down in favor of big business, corporate entities, elitist, and to have it completely ruled over by excessive rules and regulations put forth by politicians. It goes against our constitutional right. It goes against our constitutional right. They even go so far as to tell an owner operator that owns his or her own truck, we will tell you what to do with that. It has gotten to the point where there is a word that gets thrown around a lot called, it's a word that people use against people like this. They call them tyrants or tyranny. There's these people on YouTube that are they go by a stereotype name called First Amendment auditors. I love watching them. There's several of them. There's a couple of guys from Michigan. I think they call them Michigan Constitutional Advocates or something like that. There's one in Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas. There's one in Arkansas. There's a couple of them in Arkansas, actually. There's one that I have started watching recently, and his channel's name is Random Patriot. Go over and like and subscribe to his channel. Watch some of his videos. Tell him I sent you over there if you wish. You may already be subscribed to him. I think he does a great job because he keeps saying, why don't you just talk to me like an adult? Why don't you talk to me like a human? Why don't you give me some respect? Why do you have to treat me this way? Why do you have to talk to me this way? I concur. I feel that way a lot as being a truck driver. I have seen our rights slowly get taken away and taken away and taken away. We're getting more restricted. We're getting more pushed back. We're getting more censored. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why are we being this way? Why are we being treated this way? Well, it's because the main culprit in my opinion, is lobbyists. They are paid by big businesses to shut the little guys down. Alan Jackson did a song years ago. I think the name of the song was The Little Man. Basically, they're shutting down small town America. They're changing the whole landscape of what America was built upon. It was built upon small businesses, hardworking men and women in the United States that built America. Now, big corporations help build America too. U.S. Steel built America. But these big corporations couldn't do it without the men and women of America. They want to say we're more important than the small person. And the government tends to agree with them. And the lobbyist is their voice. Well, where is the working person's voice? Where's the working man? I like listening to Merle Haggard, a country singer. I like listening to him because he's got so many pro-America songs. He's got the working man, saluting the flag, an Okie from Muskogee. I just went through Muskogee, Oklahoma a few minutes ago. We're losing that touch because we're being censored. We're being shut down. We're being told what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You're being monitored. You're being watched. Watch what you do. Watch what you say. When I say that I am against electronic logs, it's not because I want to go back to a paper log. I do think paper logs are better. But what I think would be premium is if we didn't have any logs at all. Why is it the government's business whatsoever what we do? I know we need to have rules and regulations. If you go back and listen and read to people like Thomas Paine, one of the founding fathers of the United States, he wrote a book called Common Sense. That's the way I like to look at stuff. Use your common sense. I'm not drastically political, to be honest. I'm not far left. I'm not far right. I really tend to be more far right. There's not really anything that the Democrats do and the left does that I agree with. Very little. I think Democrats have destroyed the United States, in my opinion. So many things they have done. Just about every rule and regulation can be traced back to a Democrat. Bill Clinton started Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Jimmy Carter was the one that did deregulation, which gave a huge boost to corporations in trucking. Set the stage for them. Obama, I can't even begin to explain how much Obama destroyed trucking. Big businesses are hiring illegal workers. It's all about censorship. I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles and just griping about anything and everything, but it has to do with censorship. I read a comment on one of my videos not long ago. A guy was talking about he tried to talk to his congressman and couldn't talk to them. Well, you're not going to, because our voice is not heard. An individual's voice is not heard. That's why there is strength in numbers. One person, two people, three people, they're not going to be heard. You get 100,000, you get 300,000, you get 1,000,000 voices, then they're heard. Then they are heard. The more we allow censorship, the further down the hole we're going to go with trucking and with the United States. We're just going to get pushed down. I want to talk on this briefly. When Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, I was a huge cheerleader for Donald Trump. I had the shirt, Trump is my president. Wore it all the time. I thought that I would get in trouble. I thought that I'd have people just screaming and yelling at me for wearing that shirt. It didn't matter where I went, folks. People just walk up to me and, I support you for wearing that shirt. And I was like, really? You do? Sure. I was delivering a load in Texas, which, understandably, in Texas, they're big time Trump supporters in Texas, and we get that. I think we all get that. But this lady come running out of the office. I was out there delivering the load. She come running out the office and she said, I just had to come out here and say it. And I said, I looked at her and I said, say what? And she said, I support Donald Trump too. Gave me a big thumbs up. I didn't get any negative from anybody, anywhere. Nobody said anything negative about it. What irritated me about Trump, if you go back and look, during his presidency, he met with the ATA. It's the American Trucking Association. I call them the Anti-Trucking Association, because they're not for little guys. They say on there, oh, anybody can join the ATA. Well, I'm sure anybody can. They'll take money from anybody. But they are there for corporate interests. They are for the big guys. They lobby for the big guys. Go on their webpage. It says in big bold letters, we support the ELD mandate. If you want to know where the ELD mandate came from, it didn't come from government. It didn't come from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. It came from corporate trucking. Why? Because corporate trucking works off of volume. They don't work off of small loads. They don't work off of individual loads. They work off of volume freight. So ELDs gave them the upper hand. It was a way for them to censor shut down, push back the little guys. We fought for it. They threw us a few breadcrumbs and say, okay, if you run a 99 model truck and back, you can use paper log. How about that? And then all of the companies out here started gathering together and saying, no. And even guys that run paper logs, I know a couple of guys that do run paper logs. They tear them up. If you pull into a weigh scale and you come out with the paper logs, more than likely they're going to inspect your truck. They want to know anything and everything about you. It's a way to censor. It's a way to shut down. It's a way to push back. What they are doing to Donald Trump right now, putting him on a gag order, they're wanting to censor him, shut him down, make him be quiet. We don't want to hear your voice. We don't want to hear the voice of the little guy. We only want to hear the voice that betters us, the lobbyists, the elites, the business owners, the big guy. That's who we want to hear. We don't want to hear you little guys out there. So, they censor people. They're tyrants. I like it when the First Amendment auditors go out there and exercise their rights, because they put these people in their place. A lot of people point out and say, you can't do that. That's not allowed. Well, what's not allowed? Taking pictures on a sidewalk? Walking down a public road with a camera rolling? Cops have body cams. People have dash cams in their vehicles. But you can't walk openly on a public street recording with a cell phone? Folks, the censorship and the tyrants and the lobbyists and the big government has taken over, has taken control. And we, as a truck driver community, have just sat back and allowed it to happen. When I first started this channel, talked to some of my friends about it, I heard everything from I'm about to retire to you're not going to get anywhere. All you're going to get is a lot of negative comments. Why are you doing this? Why are you speaking out? Who are you to be a voice? It's a way for me to exercise my First Amendment right. I have the freedom of speech. If I want to use it, I can use it. What really bothers me is this platform right here censors people. They restrict voice. They say it's harmful. Words you say are harmful. Words are harmful? You can hurt a person with words, but it's a constitutionally protected right? How does that work? I just don't understand censorship. I have said it a couple of times on this channel. I've said it a few times down in the comments. As far as I am concerned, as long as you're not threatening harm on someone, as long as you are not talking about dangerous things, I don't care what you say in the comments. I don't care what you say about me. I'm not. I did find out today that I can delete comments. If I don't want the comment in my channel in the comment section, I can delete it. Poof, you're gone. Your voice is not heard. I will assure you, unless it is something drastically harmful, you're putting something out there that is ultra personal, that is going to cause harm for me or my family, or you're talking about harming someone in politics or causing bodily harm on someone, or you're talking about gathering together and burning something down or whatever like that, as long as it's not something stupid like that, you can say whatever you want to say. It's open forum. I don't care. You can say I'm a Trump hater. You can say I love Biden. Both of those things are really not true. But you can say it. I don't care. Censorship needs to be stopped, in my opinion. We don't need to censor anything in the United States. Everybody on both sides needs to have a voice. I listen to CNN News sometimes. Sometimes. I think some of the things that they say are false. Like Trump says fake news. I believe that's true. I believe a lot of stuff they say out there is a spin. There's this one guy that's on YouTube. He's a ultra lefty person. He likes to mix words. He'll put this word here, meaning it should be over here, and he'll kind of mix around the words to where it goes in front of something else, and it's in favor of the Democrats. Well, Trump said this. It's funny to me that most of his videos is about Trump. That's what most of his stuff is, because the lefties want to shut down Trump and shut his mouth and censor him. Quit talking. And it is his fundamental right to speak. The gag order that they put on him is unconstitutional, in my opinion. I don't think anybody in the United States should have a gag order on them. You should be able to speak freely. Doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. Doesn't matter if you like Biden or not. Biden kind of censors himself because you can't even understand half the time what the man's trying to say. So there's that. He walks around with shoestrings hanging out of the corner of his mouth because his foot and his shoes always stuck in his mouth. I'll say it again, we need to come together as truck drivers, owner operators, company drivers, everybody. And we need to have more freedom. It really, really sucks that you have to go to a trucking school and then go with one of these trainer companies, which is a mega carrier company, and they are at free will to do whatever they want to with you for the first year or two before you can go to work for another company. That's not right. That's not right. Long time ago, people used to be able to train a person, let them drive for a little while, get in somebody's truck and take off and go. Now you got everybody working against them for doing that. It's censorship, is what it is. It's what it comes down to. You're censored. You're held back. You're pushed back. Don't speak out. Don't have a voice. Do what you're told. Anyway, it's just some thoughts. It's the way my brain works. Just throwing it out there a little bit. I just want you to know, as long as you're here with me, as long as you're here on this channel, put any comment you want to. If it gets deleted, there's a 99.9% chance it wasn't me that deleted it. If it gets deleted, it's the powers that be somewhere else. It wasn't me. Say whatever you want to say. Speak out. Speak your voice. I can learn from you. Anyway, it's just some thoughts, just some ideas, just my brain. I just wanted to put it out here because I don't like censorship at all. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't like censorship. Even if you're a lefty, even if you're a Democrat and a lefty, you shouldn't like censorship. Would you like it if somebody censored you? Think about that. So, therefore, until next time, you guys have a good day.